Good day, everyone. I am Almojeb Mangotara. Today I'm going to talk about poverty and how corruption can create poverty. Poverty is one of the most glaring social issues here in our country. According to the Philippine Statistics Office or the PSA, as of 2022, the country has 19.9 million Filipinos that are below the poverty line, and that equates to 18.1% of the population. I argue that poverty is mainly caused by corruption. Corruption increases income inequality through lower income growth, and also it can create lack of education. This is one of the main problems of a poor country, because corruption can be a barricade or a barrier to education. Corruption can also cause inflation that leads to poverty. So, in the Philippines, income inequality is generally high. The Gini coefficient estimates averaging 0.45 or 45% in the 15 years old. This implies that 45% of the total income generated in the economy is concentrated among the people at the top 1% of the income strata. A Gini coefficient above 45% is often seen as an important point. Inequality above this level is frequently associated with political instability and growing social tensions. Rising corruption increases income inequality and poverty. And this was shown in the cross-country integration analysis that was made by researchers. The impact of corruption on income inequality is considerable. A worsening in the corruption index of a country by one standard deviation. This was associated with the same increase in the Gini coefficient. A defining feature of income inequality is a less effective income workforce, higher disease and mortality rate, higher healthcare costs, and rising poverty rate. So if the corruption continues, the Gini coefficient will also continue, thus giving us a bigger problem in the future. So how does corruption create lack of education, or how can it cause lack of education? Corruption acts as a barrier to education, either because it makes the cost of acquiring an education prohibitive, or because the act of education simply does not take place in a designated space. Lack of access to education and poor knowledge are the main factors influencing unemployment. It is safe to conclude that corruption contributes to poor education outcome, because they tend to divert school funds and taking the essential school resources. It follows that where educators are absent, individuals are deprived of the fundamental right of education. When corrupt politicians takes away the opportunities of the young to be educated, they are making it hard for the youngs to be successful, thus making the poor poorer. Another issue that our country is facing nowadays that is caused by corruption is inflation. Inflation is when the prices of goods and services is rising in a very high rate for a very short period of time. Well, seniorage, borrowing, and misused public finance combined with corruption is the cause of rising inflation rate that was according to Elkamen. As of March 2022, Philippines' current debt is 12.3 trillion pesos. And we will continue to suffer from this for a very long time if the Philippines or our country continues to loan from the international bank. Taxes and prices of goods will continue to rise as time goes by. As inflation rises, more people will start to look for an extra job or extra income, thus overcrowding the employment area or the area of employment. Although more people are working, people with job will have the power to spend more. That will increase the demand and will shorten the supply. This can cause a major problem because the poor and the people that are left with no job due to less opportunities that was caused by overcrowding will be having a hard time to sustain their needs and to survive due to inflation. As the late former President Benigno Simeon C. Aquino III said that when there is no corruption, there will be no poverty. Kung walang mahirap, kung walang corrupt, walang mahirap. This means that you still have the chance to survive poverty. But people should not be easily persuaded and convinced by the flowery words by politicians that brings pleasure to our ears. We should be more aware and be more cautious about who are we going to assign as a leader of this country. We should not just listen to what they say, but rather we should look at our surroundings and reflect on what is happening. We need a leader that is good and able to run the country, and not just a rhetoric one who's good with words. Well, sustaining reforms requires strong leadership, but more importantly, it needs to be anchored on the support of broad-based coalitions, including civil society, the business community, and the civil service, the front lines of the service delivery. Delivering good governance entails key public sector reforms such as choosing wise policies and investment, ensuring the civil servants and skilled and motivated, directly confronting corruption, and demonstrating that the state resources are being used well, so that citizens, us, have the trust in the leaders and institutions. So before we assign leaders, we should think about our future, the kids, the youngs, what will happen. We need to think about our surroundings and be wise when choosing a leader, because it will affect us in the long run. That's why we should be careful on who we choose as a leader. And that would be all. Thank you.